everyone. 안녕 술꾼이들. Welcome to my new account that I made, YJ Happy Hour. So I finally took the next step and created this account so that I can share my happy hour with everybody else publicly, obviously. So it was kind of a big step for me, as those who have joined today, who has seen my, I guess my past Insta lives, you guys probably, maybe or maybe not, participated in my poll to create the name that, a name for this account, and saw my, I guess, updates on Insta stories on my personal account and now my public account. So thank you everybody for joining. Woo! So as today is a day of celebration, not just because I have, I guess this is my first live in my public account, which is open to everybody. Today is also my, I guess, kind of the day that my roommate is taking a next step in her life. Woo! For those who know, you know. So I have prepared a champagne to kind of celebrate the occasion, and I've also prepared this, which says, Dobby is free! She is free! And it is, well, I don't know if I should open it. Maybe her hands should come out and open it in front of the camera so that everybody can see. And in the meantime, I'll be opening this in the background. Dobby is free! So a celebration day for many, many reasons. So I guess when we think of celebratory drinks, I guess, so maybe for those who have joined my live for the first time, maybe not, the reason I kind of start off with 안녕, which means hi in Korean, and 술꾼이들, which is my, I guess, my nickname for all of my viewers, which means, I guess, well, it's kind of difficult, but it's like for those who enjoy, I guess, liquor, alcohol of any form, I guess, enjoy the experience, enjoy the taste in any way. So that is kind of like my nickname to you. So now that you know. So I guess back to when we think about, I guess maybe another like brief intro. I guess I'm not like a bartender. I'm kind of like a home bartender. I kind of started mixing more drinks at home after quarantine and thought that since I'm making a little bit this and that at home anyway, I would like to just share my experience with, I guess, the rest of the world / my friends, and maybe share some life stories and tips that I've acquired throughout this time. So that's kind of like my intro. So I guess back to when we think of celebratory drinks, we cannot forget champagne, which champagne is part of the larger category of sparkling wines, and it's specifically sparkling wines that are produced in the Champagne region of France. So if you can see, it says champagne, and this was produced in that region. And then, of course, there are other sparkling wines like Cava from Spain. There's Cremant, which is produced from other regions of France. There's Prosecco, which is also produced from Prosecco or Moscato, which are produced in other regions of Italy. And so, but today is a special, special day, so we have champagne. So I guess when you open it, you first take out the cap, which kind of prevents it from popping out during the fermentation process. You would try to hold the end of the bottle and then hold on to the top of the cap and do not point it at anybody, including yourself, so nobody's eyes get popped out. And then you kind of twist the end of the bottle and very, very slightly. Of course, if you have like a kitchen towel or dish towel, you can kind of hold that onto the end to prevent your hands from getting too cold and I guess more friction. But today I'll just do it myself. And of course you don't want to alarm your guest, so you want to open it with care and slowly so that it doesn't shoot out like a bullet. And of course, you don't want to make a large sound either, even though that's very celebratory. So you get that sh sound, which means the bubbles are escaping very slowly, which you want. So this is my, I guess, champagne glass / flute, which flute is a general term for, I guess, these kind of tall stemmed glassware where you usually pour sparkling wine. But the vessel for sparkling wine has also evolved throughout time. I think in early 1900s or 1800s, another popular glassware shape was the coupe, which is more of, I guess, these types of more broader glasses with larger rims. So, but I guess each has its own pros and cons because this is more, I guess, aesthetically pleasing sometimes because you see the bubbles rising up top. But for these, I guess, since it has a larger opening, a larger bowl, you can get more aromas of champagne if that's what you prefer. But today this kind of looks more festive, so I'll go with this. Cheers, and thank you for joining. Very, very soft bubbles. Not too aggressive. I think one thing you notice when you try like maybe Prosecco and different types of sparkling is that maybe they have like larger bubbles, more aggressive bubbles, which comes from, I guess, how they're produced, either like different fermentation process. But one thing you often see in champagne and champagne method, I guess, wines, sparkling wines, is that the bubbles are very soft and I guess kind of melts in your mouth kind of taste. So this is very nice. I guess another kind of branching out into welcome drinks, you can't forget, I guess, welcome shots, which I definitely had, or my friends and I had our period of times where we would serve a lot of welcome shots, whether it could be to a birthday party, it could be to a housewarming party. I think, I guess one of the more memorable initial welcome shots that I served to my guests was when I first worked in New York over the summer. And one of my roommates at that time, who really loved, also another surukuni, who loved serving welcome shots to everybody who entered the door. And that time, I think we, other than our house punch, we served tequila. I guess, I don't know exactly why tequila shots became so popular, but one of the reasons I assume is that it's so fun. When you take a shot, you sprinkle some salt on the back of your hand. After you take a shot, you lick the salt, and you also bite into a piece of lime with the expression that you get when you bite into something sour. So it's kind of fun, it's kind of festive. That's part of the fun. So today, other than of course toasting a glass of champagne with you guys, I prepared a tequila drink, which I didn't want to take a shot. I don't think it is as fun anymore for you and for me. So I will prepare something with tequila as kind of like a welcome drink for everybody. So one of the, I guess, liqueurs or alcohol that's going to be added today is absinthe. So I think this is it's a type of anise liqueur. So absinthe and this both have aniseed in it. I think this includes wormwood, but this doesn't. But either way, I think they're pretty similar in taste, so I'll be just using this today. So one of the rules that I try to remember is that you want to add the ingredients that goes in the least, so that even when you're making something and somebody strikes a conversation with you and you forget what's going on, you can just dump out the lesser amounts compared to when you put in already like a 2 ounce of something, either tequila or whatever. You have to throw out more, which is more wasteful. So you try to start with the ingredients that goes in lesser amount. So 1/4 ounce of absinthe. So I guess like one thing you need to be careful with aniseed liqueurs or absinthe is that it's very, very potent, very, very strong. It tastes like licorice. So it also, some people might like it, some people might not. But I generally enjoy it in kind of very lesser, when it's included in the right amount, which is usually very, very little. Oh. And then 3/4 ounces of lime juice. So you also want to include not only the lesser amount of liquor that you include, like the smallest amounts of, okay, whatever that goes in the smallest amount, but you also want to include those that are less expensive for exactly the same reason. So you put in 3/4 ounces of lime juice. Oops. I guess when we served those welcome shots during that housewarming party, it definitely did not end well after all those welcome shots, all those extra shots. I definitely remember during that time there was somebody just gulping or just, I guess, demolishing our guacamole in the bathroom. Somebody was in the bathroom and not coming out, and we're like, who is in the bathroom? There was this guy, I think, who was a friend of a friend. And he was finishing our guacamole, homemade guacamole, so maybe it was really good, in our bathroom. And then, so it was like 4 roommates living in the same unit. And the next morning, there were definitely more than 4 people who were in our apartment. So you go figure how crazy and fun of a party it was. So I just put in a little bit, 1/2 ounce of agave syrup. You can mix it up with a little bit of water to make it more liquid. And then, of course, you would add in a little bit more. And then pineapple juice. So the bottle is mezcal, but last time I got like a huge tub of pineapple juice, which was too much to handle. So I kind of put it in this vessel so that I can keep it in the fridge. 1 ounce of pineapple juice. And of course, the important ingredient, tequila. I think originally the recipe calls for tequila bianco, which is unaged tequila, which is a bit grassier in flavor, but this is reposado, which was aged a little bit more and has a more mellow taste, maybe richer taste. And as I've mentioned before, the bottle's really cool. It used recycled Mexican Coke bottles to create this. So I can definitely use this for something else after I'm done. And it was made by a female distiller in Mexico. So kind of nice because of that. Okay. And you want to add maybe like 2 slices of cucumber. I'll just cut a little bit more just so I can top it off. 2 to kind of like muddle in with ice, and 1 I'll be using as a garnish. We have our ice. I guess one of the things that I always say and can emphasize again is that you want a lot of ice to make your cocktail super, super cold so that it's more enjoyable. And then of course you want to shake it the right amount so that it doesn't, so you put your left hand on the bottom of the tin, right hand, or if you're, I guess, a left hand, use your left hand, 왼손잡이, then you would switch that. And you want to have it at a 15 degree, a slight, I guess, crooked angle. If you put it on 180, then it would seal it into a vacuum, so you cannot, it's very difficult for you to open. And you want to have the bigger weighted tin underneath and then the smaller tin above, so that when you shake it, and even in the case that it flies off, then it will fly this way, then rather towards your guest who is watching your bartending. I think it's sufficiently cold. You can see that it's iced up. And then I have my coupe which is sufficiently chilled with ice and water. If in the future I have more space, I am definitely getting a fridge that I can include all my glasses so that it's perfectly frozen and nice. But chilling your coupe is an extra step that if you want your drinks a little bit more perfect and cold and keep it icy or cold, that's one extra step that you can take. That's not too difficult. Just pour in ice and water. So you get this kind of like nice, a little bit frothy drink, which I will garnish with, I guess I want to kind of have it thinner so that it will, let's have it this. Gives it a nice touch. You can see that it's very cold, very icy, looks very refreshing. So I will try it for you. So I don't think this even tastes that strong of tequila, personally. So even if you don't like tequila, I think this is something you can easily enjoy. It's slightly sweet because of the pineapple juice, very refreshing. Absinthe doesn't overwhelm the whole drink, so that the name of this drink is actually called Hole in the Cup because it goes down as quickly and disappears as quickly as there was a literally hole in the cup. And I didn't make this name. Yeah, I think the balance of this drink is really nice, like more sweet, frothy, refreshing kind of drink. If you were inviting 5 guests over to your housewarming party, I think this would be the perfect welcome drink, apart from the fun tequila shots that, of course, you're always welcome to have. So we'll have our helper also taste it. And he or she, maybe, would either give us the thumbs up or meh, or maybe a thumbs down. And I'm waiting. I guess that's a thumbs up. Yay! Anyway, I think this is also unique enough that you can kind of show off. You have like different ingredients, trying out new stuff to your guests. So for a welcome drink to your parties in the future, I would recommend this. So thank you everybody for joining my new public account. Hopefully nobody was lost and confused and wasn't able to make it. And I will come back on Friday. Bye bye! Bye bye, Sirkun이들!